children at play. In any play program, many different raw materials serve as the tools of children's play. Whatever the activity, the raw material used is a medium for expression and growth. Today, more and more, blocks are being used as a vital material of creative play. Blocks of various types and sizes. Large hollow blocks, floor blocks, playhouse blocks, and table blocks. Blocks are fun to play with, and fun and learning go hand in hand. These 5-year-olds up on a play roof have built a house with hollow blocks. It hardly resembles a house, but for these children, it's a very real house nevertheless. Within the house, they can play at being a family. Families, of course, involve cooperation, as well as sometimes conflict. However, peace is soon restored, and the mother admonishes her youngsters to go to bed. Using the same type of blocks, this time in conjunction with 2 metal sawhorses, other children build a doghouse. And one of the children is the dog. Good doggy. Good doggy. Woof, woof. Woof, woof. As children become more aware, they often add other equipment and materials to the blocks with which they build. Here, a ladder box is combined with playboards to build another house, a house with a roof. They've also added a fire escape. Very handy for a bit of sunbathing. With blocks, children can make many things. The same hollow blocks, now combined with some canvas, make a fine tunnel. They crawl in for adventure. Explorers, miners, whatever their imaginations make them for the moment. Again and again, as children play, we see them developing a new sense of power over materials. These children play with their boat, with sails hoisted to the wind. A ship needs not only the sea, but a dock to put in at. So blocks have their place here too. And a whole saga of adventure and of work is played out before the afternoon is over. One crew hand is ready to sail off again, but the captain shouts, "Get out! We've got to finish building the dock first." And building the dock turns into quite an activity. Now to put some cargo aboard and head out to sea again. But not before we catch 40 winks to fortify us for the adventures ahead. With blocks, children's imaginative play takes on a quality of reality. This is to be a manned missile for travel into outer space. For these children, it is practically a working model with which they can visit other planets and distant solar systems. With their helmets secured, they're all set to take off into the unknown. Calling the moon, calling the moon. We're taking off. Hey, buddy, got room for one more? Sure, just get yourself a seat. And a seat, of course, is a block. Okay, men, get ready to blast off. A cookout up on the playroof. Outdoor cooking is where the man is supposed to shine. So the boys take over the responsibility of being the chefs in charge. In this instance, blocks are to play a supportive role, literally as well as figuratively. They have no table, no benches, but with blocks and playboards, the children soon build what they need. As in most play activity, there's more to this party than meets the eye. A budget planning meeting preceded it, and a shopping trip to a neighborhood store. Tastes good. With blocks, a youngster can play with friends in a group activity, or he can play alone. This youngster has built himself a steamship with floor blocks. A toy truck and column blocks will form part of the cargo. As with clay or paint and other materials, he may experiment and improvise. Discover things for himself at his own pace. Absorbed in his work, he is oblivious to all that is going on about him. At another time, we see the same boy working within a group. Using the same floor blocks, these children are building a complex missile launching platform. The atomic cannons are positioned and repositioned with an eye to aesthetics as well as to practical utility. Harmoniously balanced fortifications are part of the overall plan. Block play that calls for intricate design, imagination, care, and artistry. Later, the boys use table blocks to create grand central station. Again, blocks serve as a means of expressing their awareness of people and of the surrounding environment. They incorporate various elements they recall from their trip to the station. Shops, advertising signs, using playhouse blocks, these children set out to build a clubhouse. Their mastery of materials is greater, their range of experience broader. A house needs electric lights, a doorbell, a telephone. So a budding electrical engineer is soon hard at work. Another boy is setting up the house's electric lighting system. The leader drops by and shows a sincere interest in their work. She's invited to give the phone a try. Yes, it works. And the leader's reward is the warm glow of pride, reflected in the boy's smile. A house will need furniture, too, so the boys set to work to build a few benches. Elsewhere in the room, another youngster is finishing a table for the house. A whole community cooperating toward a common goal. And so we observe in these few examples blocks used as tools for reenacting and widening children's experience. Adaptable to different age levels, as a source of pleasure and enjoyment. Blocks as a vehicle for achieving a new and a satisfying sense of power over materials and events, and over themselves as individuals and as members of a group.
Hi, everybody. This is Skip Alzheimer of AV Geeks. Sorry, I was getting caught up in talking with our guest off mic. Um, so I collect old educational films and show them to folks like you. And today is a special day because, and Doug, I'm going to make you visible now because we have Doug Edmunds here. Doug, how did we find each other?
I think, Skip, it was through AV Geeks and archive.org, since I worked for a long time at the University of North Carolina, which is the hosting, the home for archive.org and AV Geeks website. Might have been through that channel.
Right. Yeah. So Doug, we're lucky to have Doug because one, it's his birthday and he has a lot of other things going on in his life today. But also, Doug was the main actor in an amazing 16mm educational bus safety film called Ghost Rider. And we're going to talk about it a little bit. We're going to watch it. And then you guys can ask Doug questions via the comments. This is probably the first time that I've actually done this live with somebody who's actually been in the film. So this is very exciting for me. Doug, how did you get approached about this project?
So before I became a rock and roll guy in my checkered past, I was a child actor. I started doing community theater and then did some professional theater in the Pennsylvania area, Central PA, where I grew up, right outside of State College, Penn State University, Penn State's main campuses. And I guess my name got around to a local director who worked with the local PBS affiliate. They're based in University Park, Pennsylvania. And he had been asked to do one of these instructional films for the local school system. It might have been even the state of Pennsylvania, statewide. And so he reached out to me through another director that I'd done some theater work with. And I auditioned and got the part. And things just sort of went from there.
So this is a batch of 16mm films that were made by the same people in Pennsylvania. So there's quite a few. There's Bus Nut, which is great. Old 23, which I've shown recently. And then it happened. No, not and then it happened. One Lousy Second. So there's like probably 5 or 6 different bus films that were made, all amazingly done, and all aimed at different niches. So some of them are aimed at younger groups. Some of them are aimed at people that actually drive buses. One bus safety thing is actually a thing about vandalism on buses. That's what Old 23 is. So before we watch this, is there anything, Doug, you want us to look out for?
Well, I just remember how much fun we had doing it back in the early 80s. I think I was maybe 13 or 14 at the time. We filmed a fair number of the sequences that happened in my home, the character's home. They were shot in my parents' den. And then we did some other on-site location shooting in State College at somebody's house, I remember. And then a lot of my schoolmates at the time were the extras, the other people involved in the bus sequence and the action sequences later on in the film. So that was a real blast to film locally with a bunch of friends from, I guess at that point, junior high, we called it. We didn't have middle grades back then. So, and some of those folks I'm still in touch with through Facebook and social media. It's always fun to revisit our brief moment of stardom in a Pennsylvania bus safety film.
And one other thing is that your band at the time makes a brief appearance on the radio.
Oh, right. Yeah. So I was in like I said, I started doing theater when I was probably 12 years old. But by the time I was 14, my older brother and I were in a cool little rock mod pop band there in Central PA called The Scene, SEEN. And we put out a record a few years after that. We started putting out records when I was, in my middle teenage years. But so by the time the film was shot, I guess we already had maybe recorded some stuff. And Chuck Unger, the very kind-hearted and wonderful wonderful man who directed the film took a shine to some of the music that we were making and embedded it as a background music in one of the scenes. I think it's where I'm lifting weights.
Yes.
In my parents' den, and you hear in the background, now coming up, the local music by the scene or something. I had actually forgotten about that, Skip, until you got in touch with me, a few years ago, and I did the DVD narration and was reminded of the fact that the scene had a little cameo in the background. So that was kind of fun too.
Nice. All right, so we're going to watch Ghost Rider. Folks on the internet that are watching, please, if you have questions for Doug about the film, about aspects of the film, we have them here, so now's the time. All right, so let's enjoy Ghost Rider.
All right, class, pay attention. Your assignment for tomorrow will be to finish reading Chapter 12. Any questions? Oh, one more thing. Will Kevin Bayless see me after class?
Who's that? Some new kid.
Kevin, did you hear me?
Sir?
See me after class and I'll assign you a book. Well, how'd you enjoy your first day with us?
Okay, I guess. Excuse me, could you tell me where to meet bus 77?
This way.
You know, I never had to ride a bus before.
Oh, yeah? Hey, Greg!
Mr. Caldwell.
See you tomorrow, kid.
Hey, why are you crying?
I'm not crying.
You're new, aren't you?
Yeah.
I know what it's like to be a stranger in a new place. It just takes time to get to know people, Kevin.
Hey, how'd you know my name?
Oops.
I'll get it for you. Yuck. I've never seen so much chewing gum in my life.
Last stop, buddy.
Which way did that girl go? You know, the one with curly hair, white slacks?
Curly hair,
Yeah,
white slacks.
yeah.
Listen, buddy, no little curly-haired girl with white slacks just got off this bus.
Tracy Donnelly.
Darn, I wish I knew where the movers put my spice rack. You never guess where I found the toaster? In the attic. Now, why on earth would they put the toaster in the attic? Well, I'll just have to buy some garlic salt. Your father simply cannot live without it. Perfect. Another day like this, and I'm going back to Oregon.
Can I go with you?
Honey, lend me your pencil for a second. These must be all over the house. I found a whole pack in that old desk the Donnellys left behind.
You did? You mean the Donnellys used to live here?
Yes. The lady next door told me they moved away right after the accident. Too many painful memories, I guess.
What accident?
Why, their daughter, Tracy, died last year in a school bus accident.
See you, Mr. Caldwell.
See you tomorrow, kids.
Boo.
Ah!
Well, that's what we say, you know. Ghosts say boo.
cut it out, will ya? Are you crazy?
No, but the driver's gonna think you are if you don't keep your voice down. He can't see me.
He already thinks I'm nuts, thanks to you. Listen, buddy, no curly-haired girl in white slacks just got off this bus.
Well, what do you want me to do? Walk up and say, "Hi, Mr. Caldwell, haven't seen you for a while."
Not while the bus is moving. You might lose control and send us flying into one of those... Oh, I'm sorry.
I wouldn't want that to happen again. You're wondering what did happen, aren't you?
No.
Liar. Well, I didn't get out. I didn't get out soon enough after the crash. There was this fire.
I'm sorry.
Will you stop saying I'm sorry? I don't need that. It's not why I'm here.
Well, why are you here? And why do you come to me? Why not someone you used to know?
Come on. It'd scare them out of their wits. Besides, you and I have something in common. Newcomers and all. Here's your stop.
Oh, and, here's your pencil.
Keep it. Plus, I have something else for you. Homework. Take care.
When will I see you again? Tracy!
And for those of you who aren't at Corvallis Junior High tonight, you won't have to miss out on all the fun. We're going live right now to the 5th annual Battle of the Bands. First up, a great new group from the area, The Scene. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot. You ready, Tracy? All right already. Okay, let's see what this is all about. Each school district and private school within the state shall ensure through a minimum of 2 drills each school year that every student is familiar with school bus emergency procedures and equipment. Okay. Types of evacuations. First, students exit through the front door. Second, students exit through the rear emergency door. Important. To avoid hitting your head, lean forward before you jump, and as you jump, flex your knees to cushion your landing. Well, that makes sense. And third, students in the front half of the bus exit through the front door, and students in the back half of the bus exit through the rear emergency door. If those exits are blocked, front, back, and side windows can be forced out with the bus's fire axe or wrecking bar. Huh. I didn't know that. Emergency equipment. In the case of evacuation, know where the following items are located: fire axe or wrecking bar, first aid kit, fire extinguisher. The precise location of this equipment may vary from bus to bus, but in all cases it will be in the driver's compartment. Okay, after evacuation. Always move to a safe area at least 100 feet away from the bus and remain there in a group. Well, look who finally decided to show her face.
What?
Oh, never mind. I am so embarrassed.
I told you you were the only one that could see me.
Now that you're here, I can thank you in person for messing up my workout the other night.
Oh, boys and their stupid weights. You were better off reading the handout.
What is so important about this dumb handout?
It is not a dumb handout, and you'd better know what's in it because you're going to need it.
How do you know?
Hey, look what that pickup's doing.
Get them quiet.
Hey, everybody.
Louder.
Hey, cool it! That's better. Now let's clear this aisle so we can get out the emergency door.
Better see if anyone's hurt.
Everybody up there okay?
Andrew's cut, and the driver's unconscious. Do something, man.
Grab the first aid kit and bring her back. Okay, let's get out of here.
Walk over that hill.
This is it except for the bus driver. You better do something about him real fast.
Kevin, the first aid kits on some buses have ammonia capsules.
Let me see that a minute. Great. Okay, help her out and get far away from here. Hey, take it easy.
What do you mean, take it easy? Every time someone jumps out, there's less weight to balance the front. This bus is gonna nosedive any second. Let's go. Come on, let's get out of here.
Guys, hurry up. Come on. Go
Mr. Caldwell? Oh, come on, we're getting out of here. Come on. You okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
My clarinet!
Jenny, don't go down there.
Where do you think you're going?
But my clarinet's in there. If I don't have it tomorrow, I'm going to be in big trouble with Mr. Newhart.
You're going to be in big trouble with me unless you get back up there and fast.
Tracy! Where's Tracy?
Stay back!
Hey, you saved our lives.
You're a hero. Good job. All right.
Tracy!
All right, so Doug, we're back. Everybody can see you. We talked a lot during this, and we'll bring up some of the things that we talked about, but also some of your questions. So please post questions in the comments on YouTube or Facebook, and I'll ask Doug these questions. But first, what's the deal with Tracy, Wendy Taylor? Everybody wants to know, did you date her? They want to know your relationship with her beyond the film.
Well, I hate to dispel all the internet rumors, people, but the love affair between me and Wendy Taylor are greatly exaggerated. No, I remember being fond of her during the shooting of the film, but keep in mind we were 14-year-old kids. I think she might have been a year younger than me, and she went to the other junior high on the other side of town, as I recall. I was mentioning to Skip during the showing that several of the other extras and the kids on the bus were, in fact, classmates of mine at the time, some of whom I was, friendly with. But then there were Wendy. I didn't know when we started filming it, and I kind of lost track of her over the years. We did recently, or not recently, but maybe 10 years ago, got back in touch through social media and had a few laughs about this sort of revival that Ghost Rider has seen, thanks to Skip and AV Geeks, archive.org. But I don't really know what she's up to or where she is at this point. I've lost track of my Ghost Rider love.
It's such a bittersweet ending. It's like, oh, she saved your life, but now she has to go, and leaving poor, leave you, the poor sad new kid.
It was my favorite dramatic moment in the film, and I still sometimes run out on the hillside near my house and say, Tracy, and look off into the distance. It's like a little private joke I have with my kids and my fiance, but it's a good moment.
People want to know, did you get paid for this? And then if so, what did you spend the money on?
I think I did. I remember getting what seemed like a princely sum of money back then. It was probably a few hundred dollars, if I'm not mistaken. Chuck Unger, the wonderful man who directed it, is still around. I'm happy to say he and I are connected on Facebook. I should actually ask him if he recalls how much I got paid. But it seemed like a lot of money to me back then, and I probably spent it on records, which I would probably still spend it on today.
Nice. What records would you have been into at that point?
Oh, back then I was listening to, 82. So I was really into the British invasion stuff, but I was just starting to get into the British new wave and punk. So, it could have been just as likely to be an old Kinks album or maybe a Buzzcocks album.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so a pretty wide range of stuff, but it was sort of the British invasion of the 60s and the British punk new wave movement was what I was listening to early on then.
So when they filmed this, was this during the summer, or what was the shooting schedule like?
Well, I remember that we were cold when we were doing that actual bus sequence during the crash, and everybody was wearing coats. We were kind of freezing our butts off outside when we did that end sequence. So it must have been during the fall or early winter months that we did it. As I recall, we shot it over several successive weekends. It never interfered with school itself, but it definitely wasn't done during the summer, if I'm right. I don't remember how long the post-production took, so maybe there were some scenes that we did in summertime, but I'm pretty sure it went into the fall of that preceding year and took a while to finish.
So people want to know, did you actually get to watch the bus go into the quarry?
Wow. No, not in person. I remember thinking that it was amazing that they actually destroyed a real bus. And we did all the action sequences, in a field. I don't even think the field was actually adjacent to the quarry. It was all set up. Maybe it was. My memory about that detail is foggy. But no, I don't remember as a group standing around and watching the bus plunge into the quarry for real. I think they did that on a separate shoot.
Yeah, and it's interesting. You can tell they're trying to salvage the shot because it looks like it's from video. So I don't know what happened. It's interesting, and I feel like Chuck chimed in about that, and I'm gonna look and see if I can find that real quick.
Yeah, he may have. There was I don't know if it was on your site or some other site where there was a thread of folks talking about the film, and Chuck leaped on and left some comments after I became aware of the thread. This was several years ago. And Chuck's got a great memory for all that stuff, and may remember some of those minor details.
Yeah, I'm looking it up here. Yeah, there's a lot of junk here. Did you do anything after this?
So it's funny. I started doing community theater in 1979. It was the first community theater play I did was Fiddler on the Roof, and I was the fiddler. I used to joke with people that I had the title role, but anybody that knows theater knows that Debbie is the lead character in Fiddler on the Roof, and the fiddler is just this figurative sort of background character. It doesn't even have any lines. But so I did the Fiddler on the Roof, and I did a play the following summer called George Washington Slept Here. And then I did a role at Penn State University, and it was with some equity actors from New York. So I started getting more into like professional theater, and had a paying gig in On Golden Pond, which later became a movie with Henry Fonda and Jane Fonda. So I played that character, the kid. I think his name was Billy. But I had done quite a few professional theater engagements before I got the gig on Ghost Rider. At that same time, my childhood band, was forming, this group called The Scene, and so as I got more involved in playing music, I got out of theater and professional acting, or even semi-professional acting. So I didn't do a whole lot more acting after this was finished, I think, because the band kind of took over at that point.
Excellent. So I found what Chuck wrote.
Okay.
I believe it's Chuck. And I'll just read a little bit here. I'll get a link to people so they can read the whole thing that he wrote. But he says, here's some technical stuff for those who are interested. We shot the bus going off the cliff with 4 cameras, and 2 of them malfunctioned. The main camera, the one that I had to get the crash from beginning to end, had a serious light leak. When I got the film back, I saw huge flashes of light coming in from the left and the right side, and I was ready to jump off the cliff myself. We decided to fix the problem as best we could by projecting the film and then shooting it with a lens that was zoomed in past the light flashes. So that explains why it looked so strange.
Wow. Okay.
We did this with an Oxbury animation stand, for those who know about that. This magnifying the grain on the film, so it looks a lot grittier than the stuff shot with the other cameras, but there wasn't much else we could do. The super slow motion camera also had a shutter problem. The footage shot had all sorts of flutters. Ironically, the stuff shot with the best, most expensive camera turned out to be the worst, and the best footage came from a cheapo Bolex with a wind-up motor. A major problem with shooting on buses is it's too dark inside and too bright outside. The film sees contrast like this very differently than our eyes would, so it doesn't look good. So what we did was cut and tape filters to the outside of every bus window to reduce the sunlight coming in. So do you remember, Doug, having like lots of bright lights in the bus while you were shooting?
I do, and it's interesting that for such a relatively low-budget film, there were no green screen effects or anything. We shot that on a moving bus. All the scenes on the bus were done in an actual moving bus with, if I remember correctly, some arc lights, typical film lights at the back of the bus or wherever they needed to be positioned around the actors. And I lived in a sort of a rural area just outside of State College, and so we would drive out on all these rural roads. It's like when Kevin gets off the bus and goes home, the house was not actually out in the country. The house where we did the interior shots in the kitchen was in downtown State College. And then the weightlifting scene, that cheesy scene, is in my parents' house in Boalsburg, Pennsylvania. But I remember being on that bus and shooting all those sequences, and it was technically very challenging for the cinematographer.
It also says that, with all those bright lights in the bus, where do you plug in? And he said that the cinematographer came up with a solution, which was to have a trailer on the back of the bus that had the gas generator. Do you have a recollection of that?
I do. I remember Ned Faust, I guess, was the guy who was the sole, well, he's a cinematographer. He's credited as a cinematographer, but he might have been the sole cameraman. I don't remember there being any other camera people. But Ned was great. I remember he was this big bear of a guy, very affable guy. And, again, I was a little kid and I was a little nervous being in this film production, even though it wasn't, super high profile. But Ned was a great guy to work with. And he got it all under control. And I do remember that generator being towed behind the bus, now that you mention it.
One last thing is Chuck said, besides cringing at the dialogue that he wrote, he wanted the bus to explode in flames upon impact. But the Penn State Safety Department said, no, absolutely not. He said, we had to crash the bus safely. And this meant draining all the leftover gas in the tank and replacing it with water. We also had to remove the battery so the acid in it wouldn't be a hazard to the crew who salvaged the bus. So he wanted a big Hollywood explosion. And I think that would have been amazing.
It would have been good. I was just impressed enough that they managed to crash a real bus over the edge of a quarry. I was shocked that they were able to do that.
So when the film came out, was it premiered at your school? Did you have some sort of event?
No, not to my recollection. Maybe some of my friends out there in Facebook land could correct me if I'm wrong. I don't remember any sort of official public viewing, but the memories that I have of it were that after that, like years after, when we were seniors in high school, so it would have been maybe 5 years later, or maybe 4 years later. It seemed like a long time back then, but it would still show on the local PBS affiliate occasionally. And so somebody would come up to me. I remember specifically one time someone came up to me in the cafeteria when I was a senior, and they walked over and they're like, "Hey, Edmunds, I saw you on TV last night. It was some cheesy bus safety movie." And I just thought, oh my gosh, this is going to have a lot more life than I ever thought it would. And then, of course, years later, it popped up on the internet thanks to you. So it's had quite a long lifespan.
Nice. So there's another question here that I had. Oh yes, were you riding a school bus to school during this time?
I was indeed. Yeah, I had quite a long bus ride to and from school every day. My parents never gave me a ride. I would walk up our rural lane and wait for the bus. And I was one of the first kids who got on. And then we had to go all the way out through the country before coming back to go to State College High, or State College Intermediate High was what they called the 9th and 10th grade building. So yeah, it was very relevant to my life at the time, learning about bus safety.
Nice. Yeah, I talk to people occasionally via email who appear like in drug films, and I'm like, so appearing in this drug film, did that affect your behavior? Did you not use drugs? And almost all of them say, oh no, we used drugs. In fact, we were high when we were shooting. So yeah, the idea that you were on a bus safety film, did that modify your behavior in some way? Great.
I wouldn't say it modified my behavior. I was always waiting for the moment when I could, when the bus would careen off the rural country road that we had to go down in the mornings, and I could break open an ammonia capsule into the bus driver's nose. But alas, I never got the chance in real life. Only in the movies, kids, only in the movies.
So someone asks, were there any scenes that didn't make it into the finished film that you remember?
I don't know if there were any complete start-to-finish scenes, but I know there was stuff that ended up on the cutting room floor. That would be a better question for Chuck Unger. But I don't remember anything critical that got completely taken out.
Excellent. Is there anything else that you wanted to talk about? I mean, I have your URL for your Bandcamp for your band. Let's get you to pitch your current project.
Oh, well, I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, I've stayed involved in music in a way that I didn't necessarily stay involved in acting since then. And, pretty much my whole life has been about music and making, recording, performing music. I mean, I've kept my day job all these years because it never paid well enough to dive in totally head first. But I was really active in the 90s with a band called Glad Hands. We had a little record deal and toured a lot, put out a few records back I started a band called The Stars Explode, and we put out 3 albums, and the last one came out in December of 2017, and it's called Too Late to Save the World, which is awfully prescient sounding now. First song is called Apocalypse Blues, so maybe we should have put it out, in January.
Dude, what's going on, man?
I know, it's crazy. But yeah, that band, we kind of are on permanent hiatus, that group. So The Stars Explode is no longer really active right now, but I started work on a solo album back in October of last year, and am hoping to get that out sometime later in 2020 if the studio ever reopens. It's been on lockdown for the last month, and a couple of my sessions that I had booked had to get canceled. But yeah, I'm excited about that, and still at it.
Nice. That's great. One last question. Somebody said, did your mom ever find the spice rack? Who was that lady, and was that your house?
Yeah, so don't know if she ever found the spice rack, but we shot that scene in a home in State College, PA. I was telling you earlier, Skip, during the viewing that a few years after that, when I was playing with my band, there would often be house parties in State College, and there weren't a lot of underage clubs, so we would do shows at house parties. And we later ended up at a party at that house, and I was looking around in the kitchen thinking, why does this look familiar? And it was the same house where we shot that sequence. The woman who played my mom, I had never met her before that. I really lost track of her. I think her name was June Bayless. Yeah, that was our only connection with that actress, was through the bus safety film.
Nice. Well, Doug, happy birthday, 1. And 2, thanks for giving us your lunchtime to talk about this this time in our lives where most of us are just awkward, and you were in a bus safety film. That was really awkward. Awesome.
I was awkward and in a bus safety film.
Well, I hope you have a good rest of the day, and thanks so much again for tuning in and answering our questions.
All right, I appreciate the time, and it was a blast. Thanks for watching, everybody. Take care.
All right, awesome. I'm going to make you go away.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, so I'm back. Doug is offset right now, but I'll probably say goodbye to him individually. But anyways, thinking about films that feature supernatural or haunted aspects, this next film is called Dirt Witch Cleans Up, and it features a witch, and it's about personal hygiene. So enjoy.
roam the universe. Different ocean destiny, and turn it in reverse. Night will be day, and day will be night. Right will be wrong, and wrong will be right. The spotless and the clean. I'll make them change before your sight.
All right, let's go. you over there. Pigs are so dirty. I don't see why I got to be the one to feed you. Million things I could do. I'd rather be doing cleaning up your mess.
Get down! Set! 1, 3, there's 2, 29!
Dirty I am, and dirty you'll be, and then you'll see! Ha ha ha!
I saw what you did.
Oh, no one has ever seen me before.
You didn't have to do what you just did.
I never wanted to be different and dirty. And a dirty old witch I never wanted to be. Maybe you could help me. Would you help me, please? Please help me.
If that's all you want, it sure.
Oh no, are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure.
I think it'll hurt.
No, it won't. I do it all the time.
Does your mother say it? Ow! Ow! I hate it!
Get right in there right now. We've got to clean your fingernails with this brush. This is how you clean your hands. Toesies first. Now your feet. This is how you do your ear. Now let's do your mouth. We have to do all these things to make you good and clean. Take a look in the mirror and you'll see.
Is this really me?
Sure, it takes one back to make it look like this.
Wow. So there was a series of films made in the 70s in this health series that are just nuts. Another one is Toothache of a Clown, which I feel like I've shown in the last 6 weeks. I might show it again because it's just so great. But yeah, it's just something about this. I mean, you take the educational point of the film and you extrapolate it into this bizarre story. And I guess the problem is that kids will latch on to different aspects of this and maybe completely miss the point of the film, which is, keeping clean feels good. This one is it's over the top. I love it. I have another film from this series, and I'll let you guys watch this. It's not as insane, but it's still pretty crazy. So here's Playground Spirits. Enjoy.
It looked like it was going to be a wonderful morning. All the spirits in the park sounded so happy. Mark and I woke up early. The Grandmaster of the Park Spirits said we could be in charge of the playground safety. That's not always an easy job because of spirits like Axel.
Everyone could have a good time in our park today. I hope so. Things didn't go well yesterday. There are boards falling off the swing.
I don't think anything will happen today. Hey, let's go wake up Axel.
Axel, come on, stay yourself with us. Go away. Come on out, Axel. I don't feel like it. It's a beautiful day for anyone who's coming here. Nope, it's a bad day, a lousy day. I hope nobody has a good time today. I wonder what will happen. We'll find out sooner or later.
We didn't know what to think because Axel was in such a bad mood. But we still think it's going to be fun. People were coming to the park to have a good time.
Oh, I've just been giving us bananas and apples and oranges and stuff like that.
Everybody had his own turn on the slide. No one was swinging too crooked or too high. The merry-go-round wasn't being pushed too fast. It was such fun.
Down by the ocean, down by the sea, Johnny broke the bottle and blamed it on me. I tell Ma, Ma tell Pa, Johnny got a whooping tail, ha ha ha. How many whippings did he get? What?
Suddenly it all changed. It was changed when that wild football team came. It must be Axel.
Oh no! that? Not the whole playground. Whoa! Stop! Since Axel caused it all, only Axel could stop it now.
Axel, it's terrible. The football was to change the whole park, and you drew them here. You drew them on purpose. Get them out of here. You get out of here. No, get those football boys out of here. We'll call the Grand Master of the park, and you'll be sent to garbage land. You mean that? Yes, garbage land. Garbage land made Axel change his mind. He took a look around and decided to act fast. Hey! You've forgotten all the basic rules of safety when others are nearby. You completely ignored the right to privacy. In fact, you've come close to injuring some of the people. Now move out of here and go to an open area where you can play safely. Now! He stopped the football team and turned them backwards. They had to start all over again. This time playing in the right place, the park was happy again. Everybody was so happy, playing safely, and no one was getting hurt. And even Axel was in a good mood. Isn't it better now, the way things are? People in the park leave each other alone. Everybody's playing safely and having a great time.
So our lives are destined and determined by spirits that live above ground and underground. It's such an odd film. I mean, you know, again, there's a message there. There's a point. But then it gets, all this other stuff gets piled on it, and this whole mythology gets piled on it, and garbage land and all of that. It's really, it's fascinating. And, you know, any one of these could be developed into a bigger, horrifying Netflix series. I think at this point, at some point, I'll probably get a phone call from some producer who wants to option the rights to it. I don't know. So, all right. So I haven't showed any food-related things, and it is lunchtime for some of us. So I have a bunch of commercials that are food and other types of things, and one of them I think I might have shown. I can't remember if I showed it or not. But anyways, if you've seen one that you've seen before, it's just like a real commercial. They're showing that again. Thanks again, everybody, for tuning in today and welcoming Doug. I hope to do more of these types of things in the future, maybe one a week, reaching out to other folks who either had something to do with these films or maybe even are collectors themselves. I'm talking with the Found Footage Festival guys about having them on, and they can talk about some of their projects and what they collect and show some of their favorite stuff. And then also, they made an educational film back in, maybe in college or just outside of college. It's pretty good. I'm very critical of educational film parodies, and they did a pretty good job. So they will be on in some time in the next couple of weeks, and they're funny people. But here are some, like I said, some advertisements, TV ads from the 70s. Enjoy.
Announcing an amazing new beauty discovery, Bounty Complete Cooking Sauce from Campbell. This one's for making Bounty Skillet Chicken, a smooth, creamy blend with sliced mushrooms. All you need is the chicken. Pour on Bounty Complete Cooking Sauce, simmer. You'll be a beautiful cook in practically no time at all. Beautiful. Bounty can make you a beautiful cook.
Hey, mate! What's the meaning of this? We want a good lunch, or it's mutinous time. Captain! Captain, did you hear that?
Steady, Mr. Jones. I have a hunch. Franco-American spaghetti for lunch.
If kids ran the world, lunch would always be Franco-American spaghetti. It has the special mild tomato sauce only Franco-American knows how to make. And you can get it with nutritious ground beef, beef in every bite, or with 6 beefy meatballs, all with a mild sauce so good kids never get tired of it.
The sauce is boss.
A ship-shaped lunch.
If kids ran the world, lunch would always be Franco-American spaghetti.
What a hunch. The lunch that never fails.
You get a big delight in every bite with wonderful Hostess cream-filled Twinkies. Delicious Hostess Twinkies pick you up, 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 and never let you down, because they taste so good. Luscious, creamy white filling inside, surrounded by soft, golden sponge cake. Great for snacks and lunchbox treats. You get a big delight in every bite. Hostess cream-filled Twinkies. Hostess fruit pies in cherry, apple, berry, and other favorite flavors with more fruit filling than crust, with a flaky, soft crust that's sugar glazed. Snack time, anytime. You get a big delight in every bite. Hostess fruit pies.
This is how it starts. Something happens to upset you. Something happens to make you tense up, cause nerves to snap. And with each mounting pressure, excess acid may start to flow in your stomach. First a drop, then another, and another. Result, acid indigestion, heartburn, that burning sensation. That's why wherever you go, always carry Rolaids, one of the most effective medications known for acid relief. Only Rolaids contains this exclusive buffering compound. Rolaids breaks into thousands of tiny particles. Each particle consumes 47 times its weight in excess stomach acid. Helps control the steady acid flow. So always carry Rolaids for fast, long-lasting relief. Handy, convenient, Rolaids consumes 47 times its weight in excess stomach acid. Rolaids.
When you can't be with him, be in his mind, be a mind sticker.
Have a shape he can't forget. Tab can help. It's sugar-free, and Tab tastes better than any Diet Cola. Enjoy Tab and be a mind sticker.
When you're hot and thirsty, why suffer? Come on into the blizzard. Come on in and grab a slug of Fresca. Only sugar-free Fresca has the clean, snappy taste that shivers your timbers and makes your thirst stop cold. So don't be left out in the warm. Come on in where it's freezing. Come on in with Fresca. Freezing Fresca.
Car's making a funny noise again, Henry.
What'd you do this time?
Nothing. Hey, leave some shampoo.
I just used this much.
Ooh, sure got a head full of lather.
It's Prell concentrate. Try it.
Oh! Hey, it didn't break. Prell concentrate.
I found your funny noise. It's a loose screw.
Where?
Under that pretty hair.
Prell concentrate in the unbreakable tube. A little squeeze gives a head full of lather.
The early visitors to our land learned about beans from the Indians, and before long, started adding delicious touches of their own.
Very nice. But don't you think it could use a little molasses? And maybe brown sugar?
Now that was flavor. Not bad. To get that same flavor today, try Campbell's old-fashioned beans in molasses and brown sugar sauce, developed from an authentic colonial recipe.
Very good, Dad.
That's game.
How about some dessert?
Fine.
I'll help, Mrs. Olson. Okay. You make the coffee.
Ted says my coffee's awful.
Then you've never used Folgers. It's mountain grown. Always tastes good. Go ahead. You make it.
Okay.
How's the coffee, Ted?
Great, Mrs. Olson.
Say that to me. I made it.
Try Folgers, mountain grown for better flavor.
Ladies, I have here a pleasantly perplexing dilemma. Which Swanson frozen dinner shall it be tonight? Swanson's chopped sirloin dinner or Swanson's meatloaf dinner? The problem deepens when one notes the tender, beefy chopped sirloin that highlights this feast. It's all sirloin, set in natural brown gravy, flanked with French fried potatoes, green peas, and a warm-hearted Pepperidge Farm recipe blueberry muffin. No contest, you say? Wait till you taste the rapturous delights of this Swanson meatloaf dinner. A thick, juicy slice of meatloaf in a tasty tomato sauce with hash brown potato nuggets, green beans, and a Pepperidge Farm recipe chocolate nut brownie as a final sweet touch. Now which Swanson dinner will you choose? Chopped sirloin or meatloaf? Either way, you can't lose, providing you trust Swanson.
Did you think you could get clothes clean in cold water, Mrs. Spears?
No, but Jeff gets into our Georgia red clay and he picks up all sorts of stains, and hot water can set some of them in. So I tried cold power.
And?
Look how clean it gets his pants. I do everything in cold power.
Even diapers?
Sure, I understand it germ-proofs.
You're right. Laboratory tests have shown that cold power germ-proofs and gets out the worst kind of dirt in cold water.
The ring is off, and so is the engagement.
But all I said was...
That you can't stand my breath.
She needs a mouthwash for lovers. Honey, my boyfriend once said my breath was bad enough to kill a moose.
What did you do?
Got Colgate 100, mouthwash for lovers.
Colgate 100, the mouthwash for lovers.
What'll it cost to solve your tire problems this winter? As little as $25.25. Right now at Firestone, you can mix or match 2 Town & Country winter treads for the rear wheels of your car or 2 Deluxe Champion new treads for the front. All sizes up to the popular 775/14 white walls or black walls, 2 for $25.25. The Town & Country tread design is famous for its ability to get you through ice, mud, or snow. The Deluxe Champion tread design is preferred more than any other by new car manufacturers. Mix or match winter retreads or regular retreads on sound tire bodies or on your own tires, 2 for only $25.25. Plus federal excise tax and 2 trade-in tires of the same size off your car. Get them now with no money down while stocks are complete at your Firestone dealer or store. Consult your yellow pages for nearest address.
You may have been a curly-haired baby, but baby, now, wow, pow! Now there's Curl Free, the hair straightener for girls who really need it. Curl-Free straightens hair that's uptight, relaxes it, makes it easy to control, so you can get any new hairdo big girl style. If you're a curly-haired baby, get Curl-Free, the hair straightener for big girls who really need it. Curl-Free.
Papermate has built a pen that's waterproof, shockproof, dustproof, blobproof, and skip-proof. A pen that keeps on writing no matter what. Papermate.
Now get a shockproof, waterproof, leak-proof, skip-proof Papermate pen at a cut price during the Papermate Super Sale.
All right, face the front.
This is no ordinary lineup. It's a lineup of nut-nuts. People mad about the completely different, rich roasted flavor of new Skippy peanuts, cashews, and mixed nuts. Nut-nuts are everywhere. New nuts with a rich roasted flavor from Skippy. Recently, there's been some rather peculiar behavior among the employees at the Skippy Nut House. They've become nut-nuts, uncontrollably mad about the completely different, rich roasted flavor of new Skippy peanuts, cashews, and mixed nuts. New nuts with rich roasted flavor from Skippy.
Riverside Raceway, the Grand Prix. The winner, Bruce McLaren. His gasoline, Union Oil's powerful Royal 76 Premium. The same Royal 76 you get at any Union Oil station. Not a penny more, and powerful enough to make a difference.
Campbell's new Noodle-O soups. 2 new noodle soups that kids will come running for. With oodles and boodles of circular noodles. Spoonable, unspillable, non-skid noodles. So there's never a slip twixt the bowl and the lip. First, there's Campbell's chicken Noodle-O soup. Chicken in a bright, full-flavored broth with lots of little noodles in the round. Good. Then there's Campbell's tomato beef Noodle-O soup. Good ground beef in a sassy tomato soup with a whole mob of Noodle-O's.
Noodle-O.
Oh, they don't know Noodle-O.
Get a world away from the everyday with new Swanson International Dinners. German, Chinese, Italian, Mexican style.
They take you away from the everyday to a world where the food makes you want to stay.
Those real sensational
International frozen dinners from Swanson.
German style, a generous helping of sauerbraten, spätzles, and Bavarian cabbage. Chinese style, chicken chow mein and fried shrimp. Italian style, lasagna with meat and cheese, tortoni pudding. Mexican style, with a beef enchilada and tamales in a fiesta meaty sauce. Get a world away from the everyday with
these real sensational
International frozen dinners from Swanson.
Ladies, one reason you can always trust a Swanson frozen dinner, it rounds the hungry edge of appetite nobly well. Or as some of my more blunt brethren might say, it satisfies. A case in point, Swanson's turkey dinner. First the entree, prized poultry, expressed in succulent slices of white and dark meat, mantled in rich brown gravy and tastefully enhanced with Pepperidge Farm dressing. And now behold the glorified superwhip potatoes, richly regaled in butter. In the next neighborly compartment, a plentiful portion of peas, also bathed in butter sauce. And to complete our royal repast, a tantalizing extra, tangy sweet cranberry sauce. Aha, you say, but aren't there others? None that even remotely approaches this. So take my word for it, ladies. Trust Swanson.
Some men are so pleased with Hanes Banlon Plus 4 Stay-Up Socks, they want to show the world. Hanes Banlon Plus 4. socks that always stay up, in styles and colors for all occasions. If you were wearing Hanes Van Lawn Plus 4 stay-up socks, you'd want to show the world too.
Palmolive presents the body soaps. Palmolive Green with lanolin, Palmolive Gold with deodorant. Palmolive Green softens your skin as it cleans. It's like giving your whole body a facial. Palmolive Gold helps keep your body refreshed because it helps to protect against germs and odor-causing bacteria. Palmolive Green with lanolin for the body facial. Palmolive Gold with deodorant for the body refresher. The body soaps from Palmolive.
How'd you like to have a facial all over your body? Well, new creamy-colored Palmolive gives you just that. Lathers elbows and shoulders. Very smooth. Palmolive has lanolin. It's more than mild. And so are you. Feet, knees, nice knees. Palmolive actually softens your skin while it cleans. It certainly does. Give your whole body a facial with new Palmolive. Oh, you'll love it.
You know what I tried?
What?
Pristine.
Pristine?
Feminine hygiene spray.
Oh, that's right. How do you like it?
I like it. Lets you feel fresh, and it lasts all day.
You're kidding. It really lasts all day?
Sure. I use it every morning now.
Pristine spray mist or soft new spray powder. They both last all day.
I know that was a barrage of 70s advertising and lots of character actors that popped up in there. So thanks so much for another week of you guys tuning in and watching the films along with me and commenting and welcoming special guests. This was a week where we had 2 special guests. If you like what you saw, you can go to avgeeks.com. There's besides there being 3,000 films online, there's also an archive of the previous shows that we've done over the last 6 weeks. There's also a place you can buy DVDs, and you can donate to AV Geeks at patreon.com. I very much enjoy spending this time with you guys. It's pretty much the only thing I got going on right now, and so we'll just keep doing it. So join me on Monday, 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time or Eastern Daylight Time, and we'll watch some more films. Everybody have a good, safe, sane weekend, and we will see you soon. Take care. Bye. Oops, I'm back.